Make your event memorable with Rajashri Event Management. Call us now.
Speaker sir, I rise to speak on the cut motion and oppose the demands. Speaker sir, coming to the point on the Forest Department. Now, the Forest Minister's view on the Tiger Reserve seems to be very clear and is well known. And Speaker sir, his view is that under no circumstance it will be done. Speaker sir, I believe that already there is a delay and in the declaration and the demarcation. And now we have an order of the Honorable High Court. Now, Speaker sir, the Union Ministry of the Environment and Forest has argued for a Tiger Reserve notification. The contention of the NTCA, that is the National Tiger Conservation Authority, is for declaration of the Tiger Reserve. The High Court order, Speaker sir, has a quote from Mahabharata, almost providing a preamble to the judgment. At the start of the judgment, what it said, Speaker sir, if there is no forest, then the tiger gets killed. If there is no tiger, then the forest gets destroyed. Hence, the tiger protects the forest and the forest guards the tiger. Speaker sir, I believe Honorable Member Divya Rane and the Honorable Minister has brought the issue of a lot of dislocation of the people to the extent of 15,000 people. First of all, Speaker sir, we need to check and take all these people into confidence. Speaker sir, there are also issues regarding the ownership of the land. The picture, Speaker sir, cannot be created that those who demand the declaration of the Tiger Reserve are against the interest of the local inhabitants. This cannot be painted. Speaker sir, they are all Goans. They are our people and the government should come with a solution. Least loss to the local people. Speaker sir, I would like to recall, or let me recall the displacement of the people in the Kurdi village during the Selaulim irrigation project. Even these people at that time were displaced. Speaker sir, Goans lost their land during Konkan Railway. And it was said at that time that anyone who opposed it was called anti-development or anti-national. Speaker sir, I believe that the issue is not tiger versus locals. That is not the issue. But the issue, Speaker sir, is of protecting, preserving our forest, wildlife and our Mother Madai. Speaker sir, the wildlife in Goa and interest needs to be, according to me, it has to be declared as a Tiger Reserve. I've made it very clear. I know that the Honorable Minister is connected with the people of Sattari and various other people in the state of Goa. But Speaker sir, I believe at the start he said that about 8 MLAs would be affected with this particular judgment. But we have to prepare ourselves, Speaker sir, because I believe that this looks like a very watertight judgment. We have these tribal community brothers of us. They have always been the protectors of this forest. They have, in fact, been the protectors of agriculture and horticulture in these areas. Madam Divya Rani was saying that these forests were, before they were being declared as private forests, people have lived there. And their family has close proximity to all these people. And I believe there is no better people than them in the interest of Goa. Whatever decision the government takes, he is believed to challenge it in the Supreme Court. But Speaker sir, I believe that the Honorable Minister also should look at it with a macro view in the interest of Goa as well, Speaker sir. Because with the fiasco of Madai, with the way things are progressing, with the way Karnataka is moving, Speaker sir, this is a very serious issue And I believe that the Honorable Minister should look at it with the prospect of Goa. Their contribution is immense, Speaker Sir, but we have to look at the Goa-centric view. Speaker Sir, speaking on the forest fires, in the morning we spoke about it. I believe that the suspicious claim of the government about this forest preservation whether these were natural man-made or natural made fires, we require a clear report from the Honorable Minister. I believe that the Forest Ministry was not prepared. He tried his best. There were people that came from the Air Force. The Air Force was deployed. But Speaker Sir, what happens next? If these fires were not man-made, if they were natural fires, then there is every possibility that this happening the next year. Now, Speaker Sir, what steps the government will take with regards to these forest fires? Because these fires have caused loss that is irreparable, that our flora and fauna for so many years, because I believe that it is irreparable and it is going to take so many years to get this forest wealth back of us. Speaker Sir, I was flying in Australia, and I believe in Australia I was there for almost 2.5 years, 3 years. There are more than 45,000 to 60,000 bushfires reported in the northwest of Australia and throughout Australia. But Speaker Sir, in that place they have a system in place and they are able to control these fires. They use various mechanisms like backburning, water bombing. I believe we'll need to look at more proactive steps, because in my LAQ, the reply doesn't state of the amount of animals that have lost lives, the amount of damage. Speaker Sir, I believe this is a very serious issue, and the Honorable Minister, who's very dynamic, I must say, he's dynamic, he's focused, but no better person than him. But we need this result, and we need a report, Speaker Sir. Speaker Sir, with regards to the protection, few things I would like to highlight. There are areas with seasonable edible mushrooms, edible wild berries like kanna, chunna, ye makadistas, because areas they have to be protected. We have our heritage trees. I think that the heritage tree status should be given to 50 years or more of these trees. And I believe that this demand is in line to the amendment made to the Maharashtra Urban Area Preservation and Protection Tree Act of 1975 in September 2021. Speaker Sir, these areas that have caught fire, I believe that we have to look at it seriously. Possibly the Minister is not in favor of declaring that as NDZ, but what is the next step? We need to protect these areas, Speaker Sir, from being exploited. Speaker Sir, speaking on the TCP department, the Honorable Minister started the innings with a bang, and he betted for Goa's protection and preservation. Speaker Sir, there was in March 2023 an amendment to the TCP Act, and we were told that this was brought to ease out houses related to Goans. Now, Speaker Sir, it is believed that individual houses or land areas of 350 to 500 square meters, there are several Goans that want this benefit. But Speaker Sir, also there are people who are looking at it as an opportunity. I believe the Honorable Minister should look at it very keenly. The failure, Speaker Sir, I believe he's made a statement about the regional plan. At that time, the regional plan was prepared in 2021 by some experts, including Charles Correa and others. And I believe at that time some self-governing bodies were taken into consideration. But Speaker Sir, the Minister says that there is a fault in those plans. I think we need a clear-cut answer on that. The government, Speaker Sir, has also failed to notify the ODPs in several places. 16B, Speaker Sir, Although it is sub judice, because of whether it is scrapped or not, there's no clarity. I believe under the pretext of farmhouses. Now, under farmhouses, because of the ezo zo fayda zaya, so goinkarak zaupak zayo speaker sir. Honorable Minister should make sure that maximum number of people of these farmhouses getting benefit should be having maximum domicile. And you need to link this domicile, possibly the provision similar to Section 3 of the GDD Munkar Act. Possibly, because this is a very important issue pertaining to farmhouses. Goinkarak faydo kadpak o kaido aha ani म्हाका दिसता मंत्रीन हें चोवपाक जाय speaker sir. Speaker sir, speaking on the health ministry, now the health minister is a very able health minister, is holding this portfolio for several years now. But speaker sir, the health ministry only is a cell that we cannot understand the amount, it's very large and you have to innovate. Speaker sir, this health ministry and the urban development ministry, both these ministries have a direct bearing on the quality of the life of the people. Now, speaker sir, with the increasing private institutions becoming unaffordable, it is because of this, speaker sir, that we all depend on our primary health centers, our CHCs, our GMC, South Goa District Hospital. But speaker sir, I believe that there is a gap, and this gap needs to be rectified. And we cannot afford this gap after 62 years of our liberation. He has tried his best, but speaker sir, we have to improvise. The finance has to be given maximum to the people's lives. And this, it should not be that the people's health is stopped because of there are lack of finances given to this particular department, speaker sir. Now, in Goa, there are several community health centers. I think there are 6. There are 24 PHCs. There are 220 sub-centers. There are 33 RMDs. Now, the above health centers, speaker sir, what actually is the status? How are they? Most of the members here say that they are not well equipped. There are leakages. All these, speaker sir, need to be plugged. It is only when these centers are upgraded that people will not prefer, or people will be treated well in these centers, that the load on the GMC would reduce. Speaker sir, I'm thankful to the Honorable Minister that in my constituency we had asked for an health center. We got it approved. My municipality has allocated 3,000 square meters of land, and I'm hopeful, speaker sir, that this particular health center will shape up at the earliest, because there is a need, and we cater to almost 30,000 floating population. There's an industrial estate there, and there is a huge urban area there. But currently, my constituency in Kunkolim, speaker sir, there is just one senior doctor that looks after so many patients, and it is a complete chaos, and there is an urgent need, and I request the Honorable Minister that he looks into it very seriously. Now, speaker sir, the Chief Minister speaking on Goa Medical College, the Chief Minister says that in his budget speech that the patients have increased, and proportionately, I believe that the consultants have not increased. Now, I salute the doctors in the GMC, because I believe with the amount of workload, the dean is efficient, the doctors are efficient, but there I think we lack with the amount of doctors that are there. It's because they are overloaded. We see that especially in the neurology department, this, speaker sir, is almost always it is crowded. There are less consultants. Now people come from all over the state. They come there for an appointment. Sometimes they are given this the next day. I will speak about very practical problems, speaker sir, because these are problems when people call us. These are the problems that we try to face. The health department's office, his office is very efficient. Even in the middle of the night also, we wake his people from his office. His staff, they reply to us, speaker sir. So I'm thankful for that. Speaker sir, with regards to this neurology department, I believe that the consultants need to be increased. there is no direct phone line in this particular department as it was available in GMC. Speaker sir, sometimes the medicines that are to be provided free of cost to the people and the implant high, these, Speaker sir, sometimes there's a big shortage. The MS should look at this very seriously because there are complaints from the people that there is time, their prescriptions are kept with the particular pharmacy and then they are given it after 2 or 3 days, 2-3 days they are not taking treatments because this needs to be rectified. Relating to, there seems to be a problem with relating to shifting ICU patients. I believe that the Honorable Minister is on record that the private hospitals send patients at the last hour and it is not welcome. I agree to that, but what happens because sometimes these ICU beds are not available and people go to the private hospitals. And now, Speaker, especially during shifting of these patients, because the ICU beds are full, there is a problem there. And Speaker, this ICU beds facilities, because this has to be increased. Speaker, I thank the Honorable Health Minister for having a cancer specialty in the super specialty block. He is tied up with Tata. But Speaker, basic equipment like a PET scan machine that detects cancer and can detect cancer at a very early stage. Speaker, this, I believe it ignites all these hotspots. This gives the doctor a reference way to, like a port treatment or something to target. This, Speaker, needs to be bought, this particular PET scan machine. The dialysis unit also, Speaker, these, I believe there are about 127 in the state. This has to increase. Speaker, the Mediclaim bills, especially the Department of Treatment taken outside GMC. Now, this private hospitals or during an emergency, this is recognized by the government. But because of when the bills are referred to GMC for reasonability certificate, Speaker, at that time the claim is delayed for quite some time. Now, how will the patients, Speaker, come to know the charges claimed by the hospital? I think we need to have some system where there seems to be a lack of coordination in that regard, Speaker. Speaker, with regards to the IVF treatment, it's a welcome step. This is needed. He said that he's going to open the robotic surgery. But Speaker, these announcements look good. What about the CAT lab that was announced in the South Goa District Hospital about the neurosurgery things? They need to start. The intent seems to be there. But it seems to be clear that because of the finance that is lacking, these things are not taking shape. Speaker, another thing that I would like to highlight, the Honorable Minister, is the medical waste. It should be disposed safely and to avoid any vector-borne diseases, because vector-borne diseases could spread and there is a dog and cat menace also happening there around this medical waste. The casualty, Speaker, in the GMC is the busiest. And Speaker, I believe there should be a rank of a senior doctor all the time, because that is when the treatment starts. Sometimes there are doctors of the rank of MBBS. I believe a senior resident should be posted day 24/7 so that the patients that are referred with trauma and all are looked. It's not that they are not there. Sometimes they are not there. I'm just bringing it to the notice of the Honorable Health Minister. The absence of the OT theatre. There are several patients, and these are very practical things. When a patient is taken there, he's kept NBM or nil by mouth, so that the OT procedure has been taken. They are taken in the stretcher to the OT theatre, but there are several times, because there are other operations taken prior, they say that there is more emergency than that, then there is a thing where this operation is also delayed. I think, Speaker, this is something that the Honorable Minister needs to rectify. The food provided in GMC, I would like to possibly appreciate that the food provided to the doctors, to the patients, to the patient's relatives, it is healthy. The pharmacy provides medicines, Speaker Sir. The cardiology department, I believe, is one of the most efficient departments in the state today. The cardiothoracic department, I think, is well equipped. But Speaker Sir, these things need to continue. And I believe that there has to be a transformation in all the departments. Within neurosurgery, oncology, all these things need to coordinate. Cardiology is top of the line. No complaints whatsoever. But Speaker Sir, coming and speaking about the South Goa District Hospital. Now the South Goa District Hospital, Speaker Sir, practically no referrals would be given was the reply given by the Honorable Minister in the last time there was a question hour when there was a debate. But Speaker Sir, currently if you see, when a patient is admitted there in the night, Speaker Sir, suppose is admitted with chest pain, the basic blood test that you do, cardiac enzyme markers, to say whether there are enzymes where he is prone to get a heart attack, this is not done. Speaker Sir, a basic CBC is done. You don't do a liver function test, you don't do a renal function test because there is no support from the lab there. Speaker Sir, after 1 p.m., Speaker Sir, there seems to be no MD in the South Goa District Hospital. And if there is no MD after 1 p.m., this is more like, looks like more like it is more like a health center. There is no anesthetist there after 1 p.m. There is no ICU, Speaker Sir. Echo, 2D echo this, Speaker Sir, is done very rarely. Speaker Sir, something that is very important is when you thrombolize a patient when he has stroke, within the golden period, when you thrombolize the patient, there has to be an expert around, so that in case there is a chance of that patient bleeding. But Speaker Sir, at that time during thrombolizing, I believe there are no senior doctors present. So Speaker Sir, the ambulance in the South Goa District Hospital pertaining is frequently breaking down, and they depend on the 108. I believe that one doctor is looking at almost 100 patients there, Speaker Sir. There are 30 medical officers. As per the strength, there had to be 60. The radiology department has only a CT scan machine. There is no MRI. There are so many dialysis patients. They have to wait. Speaker Sir, the cath lab and neurosurgery was promised. That is also, it is not taken shape. When will these things, Speaker Sir, come to shape? Because you are also aware that these are practical problems there. And this continue to exist, Speaker Sir. Because there is no neurological department there. Just a CT scan is done. There is no MRI machine and everyone is referred to GMC. And when neurological patients, I believe there has to be an OT there, that surgery thing has to come in place, Speaker Sir. Speaker Sir, speaking on, I believe that the Health Minister has announced of 2 private nursing colleges, the Chief Minister has announced. I hope that the South Goa District Hospital is not privatized, because in the budget, there is no budget allocation for that. Speaker Sir, speaking on urban development, now we spoke at length on the smart city. And I believe that this involves an amount of almost 1,100 crores. The way it looked like public money was put in the drain, haphazard planning. Speaker Sir, I understand that there is a chairman there, but Speaker Sir, it bypasses his system, but this needs to be controlled. We cannot afford, Speaker Sir, to just put public money down the drain. Regarding plastic that is all over these urban areas and waste management issues, Speaker Sir, these are very serious issues. It does not look like, Speaker Sir, that Sonsodo. I remember when I was here in the gallery, Speaker Sir, you were an MLA here, right from then. And Speaker Sir, Honorable MLA Vijay Sardesai pointed out that maybe this is gold for some people. Now, when will these issues be resolved, Speaker sir? Every year, year after year, this Sonsodo comes, Speaker sir. And there are so many other places that have become dump yards with all this garbage. Speaker sir, I would like to bring to the notice of the Honorable Minister with regards to the amendment that they made to the election je Zaupag Ashilne, municipality. I was shocked. In my municipality today, my municipality seems to be the only municipality, Speaker sir, who is in the opposition. Of the 14, I believe all the 13 are in the ruling. But Speaker sir, when the elections were announced for the chairperson in my Kunkoli municipality on the 27th, on 26th they get a notice that the elections is postponed. And the reason given, Speaker sir, is that the opposition, corporators, opposition councillor, they are going on a study tour to Delhi. What is this, Speaker sir? How can we, what type of tactic is this, Speaker sir? Was this amended to do this tactics, Speaker sir? I believe, Speaker sir, and the economic survey, it indicates that there is unsustainability. Now, it indicates that the urban areas are moving towards this unsustainability. Why is this, Speaker sir? It is because of interstate immigration and intrastate migration. So, Speaker sir, I believe that the Urban Development Minister should take serious steps in its policies, programs and expenditures. With regards to my municipality, since we are the only municipality in the opposition, we had asked for an auditorium in our municipality there. We had asked for a special grant in aid. I believe let us be equal to everyone, Speaker sir. Let us be equal. It should not be that it is only the opposition municipalities that get. No doubt he has said he would do it. But Speaker sir, we have moved several proposals. I hope this happens, Speaker sir. Now, Speaker sir, there are several staff there in the municipality working for years that have not been confirmed. We need to look at it very seriously. Common cadre, I believe when the Honorable ex-Chief Minister, Mr. Digambar Kamath, at that time, the common cadre of engineers was moved. But Speaker sir, common cadre, JS staff high municipality, thank dista te tenge gormu, thank corruption kita data, thank gormu dista. This, at that time, there was sixth pay implication. And there was some issues thing. I remember because my dad was the UD minister at that time. And at that time, that common cadre thing was moved. But I believe that common cadre is very essential because of accountability, and that has to come into force, Speaker sir. Speaker sir, speaking on woman and child, I believe, Speaker sir, we need proper shelter homes. This is what is lacking. The infrastructure for these shelter homes, it has to be looked into again. Woman Commission, Speaker sir, those who occupy this position should be pro-woman, proactive towards women rather than, Speaker sir, a political party. Now, the Honorable Minister, I would like to remind him that he said in the last session that I had moved a private member's resolution on the widow discrimination and disrobing of women. He said he would bring that bill because he would pass a law. I'm not sure whether it is going to come in the days to come, because this is something that is very important. All the members in the House resolved, and I withdrew that, saying that he would bring it in this coming session. So you have to look at it very seriously. Speaker sir, timely disbursement of these schemes like Ladli Lakshmi, Griha Aadhar, all over the park, there are several people that are not distributed. From many, at least my constituency, I have several. I would write to the Honorable Minister, these have to be taken into consideration. Also, Speaker sir, you need to change the rule that you all normally are saying that Ladli Lakshmi scheme is only not given to unmarried girls. This, Speaker sir, I feel has to change. Speaker, sir, speaking on the Anganwadi workers, I think they should get reasonable remuneration. It's been so many years, most of these Anganwadis in all of our constituencies, they are in bad shape. With the implementation of the NEP, with the infrastructure that is required, with the training that is required to give them, are our children in safe hands? The infrastructure needs to change. There has to be a complete revamp, Speaker, sir. I asked the Honorable Minister that he should look at this Anganwadi issue also very seriously. Speaker, sir.
Leader of Opposition,
Yeah.
you have almost reached your time.
How much time?
So please expedite.
Speaker, sir, I spoke for, I think, 25, 27 minutes now.
I said you have almost reached your 30
Yeah,
minutes.
okay.
Please finish fast.
Speaker, sir, speaking on Foods and Drugs Administration, now several people have spotted about that issue about formalin. Several people said that there is no fish testing lab. And Speaker, sir, this is a serious issue and I believe it is still there. But there is somehow, why is this food testing lab not put into its place? Whether it happens on the borders, whether checking is happening in the market area, the Honorable Minister needs to come clear. What about, Speaker, sir, we see that raids are on establishments and pharmacies by this FDA. But there are several other unchecked areas of food vendors that go unchecked. This government, Speaker, or the ministry, Speaker, has failed to check these areas with the small fruit vendors or food vendors or street vendors. The quality, whether it is safe, this, Speaker, sir, I believe is lacking with the Foods and Drugs Administration. Where there is adulteration happening, raids have to happen in all these areas. Formalin, as I said, is an important area. Failure where potable water, there was an episode where water, Speaker, sir, drinking water was supplied in a tanker. And Speaker, sir, in that same thing there was sewerage also there, supplied. So this is a very serious issue. We cannot play with the lives of the people, Speaker, sir. Now, Speaker, sir, speaking on the Institute of Psychiatry and Human Behavior, I believe with the amount of stress that everyone goes through these days, it is quite even that some people require genuine treatment from this Psychiatry and Human Behavior Department. But Speaker, sir, this government, I believe, has failed to provide also a proper helpline. And there is a difficulty with several people having mental diseases in taking them from point A to point B. It has to be more acceptable by locals because a lot of people approach us, politicians, there is police clearance is required, but it has to be more friendly. I believe that the Honorable Minister should look at that. I think you also need to equip it with proper ambulance services. Currently, Speaker, sir, speaking on last, Goa Dental College, Speaker, sir, the government, I believe you need to set up advanced technology there in your department. There seems to be no advanced equipment. So, Speaker, sir, saying all this, I believe that we are all eagerly waiting from the replies, and I hope the Honorable Minister answers to us. Thank you, Speaker.
तुम्ही पळयतात गोवा न्यूज हब.
Book your taxi 24/7 at a reasonable price with Goa Miles. Download Goa Miles app today.